Okay, guys, it's fall. It is officially here. And one of the things I do in fall is I do an inventory. As you can see, I've got enough food here for the dog between what I've got in my little Rubbermaid tote and what I picked up yesterday. That's 30 pounds of pedigree. This will last about 2 months. And what I do is I go through and I inventory everything. And this is my chicken feed, right? I keep the chicken feed in the house because, you know, my shed is an absolute disaster area. But as you can see, we're out of the other chicken feed. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go and I'm going to get 2 bags, and one bag will fill this, and then I'll have another bag on the side, and that'll be 2 months of supply. And then in these other 2 down at the bottom, what I have is corn. So when the temperature drops, I start adding a little bit more corn to my chicken feed. This is to help them. Corn increases their temperature. And I have my own corn, right? My own grown corn that I keep for seed. So, what you want to do is you want to go through and you want to inventory. Now this includes everything that you have, right? As you can see, my freezer is full. It is full to the brim, okay? I've got everything in here from grits to oatmeal to, I got a big bag of rice in there. I got a big bag of blueberries in there. I got spaghetti noodles. And my top shelf here, I've already got together and gotten all my seeds for next year. Okay, these are all my seeds for next year. And yes, I like kielbasa. So I go through and I do this to give me an idea of winter coming. Now, not only do I do it in here, and that's my big freezer, my little freezer also is full, right? So we're going to go through, and I can already tell I need to order a couple more loaves of bread. And yeah, so we do everything here, right? So I've got jelly all up here. I've got jelly. It's enough to last me all through the winter. I've got my drink mixes. It's enough to last me through the winter. I've got coffee. I've got some coffee on order. I go through and I inventory everything, right? So I've got my dehydrated spices up here. I've got more spaghetti noodles. I've got, my mixes for my blueberries. I've got my nuts. I've got my popcorn. I do like popcorn. I got hamburger helper and stovetop all behind this. I've got my little mixes here, it's my gravy mixes and my Taco Bell mixes. And, of course, at the top, I've got my Velveeta shells and cheese. It's a treat for me. Up here, I have my sour cream and everything all ready to go. And I've got more of my red beans and rice for my tortillas. And spices. Spices. I love spices, okay? I've got all kinds of spices here. I got my Himalayan salt, and I've also got it in powder form. And we got more spices. Yeah. So I go through, and as you see, I picked up a 10-pound bag of sugar. I don't really need the sugar, but it was on sale. So whenever I see something that's on sale, I'm going to order it. I do have a sweet tooth, so I always make sure that my candy jar is at least half full before winter. So I go through here. I don't know if you can see it. I go through here and I see, okay, I've got my borax, I got my bleach, I got my bleach tablets, right, so I can make more bleach. I've got enough bounce sheets for the winter, right? I've got enough in my detergent to last me almost all winter. I do need to pick up one more bottle of detergent. Let's write that down while I'm thinking about it. So this is what I do, is I go, okay, I need chicken feed, right? And I need detergent. Okay? So this is what I do. I go through and I check everything. And you want to check everything, right? You want to go through when you do an inventory, especially this time of the year, you want to go through and you want to start counting. See, I've got coffee here. Got all kinds of coffee here. We're good on coffee. I got one on order. I've got SpaghettiOs. I got a whole case of SpaghettiOs. That I normally eat once a month. I got pineapple. I got more SpaghettiOs there. I've got my tea, okay? I got my Keystone, you know, so if I lose power, I've already got the meat ready to go. And this is all meat, okay? You know, corned beef hash, chicken a la king. I got my mixed vegetables because I like to add a can of this to a dozen eggs with half a cup of pancake mix, and I make like a souffle in the oven, and that will last me a week for breakfasts. So, you know, I'm just going through here. I've got stews. This is all stew. We got more of the Spam, right? We've got enough Spam here to last through the winter. I've got enough Vienna sausage to last through the winter. I eat one of those. Normally, I will actually have a meal of 1 can of Vienna sausage, the chicken, obviously, because I don't eat pork. The chicken Vienna sausage with one of my macaroni and cheeses, and that is a meal for me. That's like a lunch, right? And I normally have one of those per month in the winter. My baked beans, my chili, my spaghetti sauce, right? And of course, we have ramen, right? If you don't have ramen on your shelf, I would highly recommend that you get some. One of the ones that I really like is this Yokosoba, and that's a teriyaki beef. I also have the chicken. And I have a couple cases of mixed fruit. One of the things that in the wintertime you really need on the shelf is fruit. This is to keep your vitamins up, right? I've got 2 months of Morning Kick left, right? This is put out by Chuck Norris. I really enjoy it. It gives you a lot of energy, so I've got 2 months left before I have to order any. I've got another half a case of Quaker Oats oatmeal. I use 2 of these a day. So with the case that's in the freezer, in this case, that's about a month and a half in the winter, which is good. I also have a full case of the Easy Mac mac and cheese. Now that one you have to add milk to, so I have dehydrated milk for that. I have Lifesavers. Here we go. This is just a treat. I have barbecue. I have a whole case of barbecue sauce, right? I have some more Velveeta shells, right? More spaghetti sauce, so that's a whole case of spaghetti sauce. One thing of spaghetti sauce, I use one of the Prego with one of the Hunts with a can of my Keystone hamburger, ground hamburger, and that is a whole week of meals for me for dinner. Okay, I've got peanut butter already set aside. I've got 3 jars of peanut butter. We're good. That peanut butter will last me all winter. I've got salt. Now this is the Morton iodized salt. That I normally use only with specific, like French fries. I don't really use it that much. I have 2 years of supply there. That's how often I use it. I have my Ritz crackers, which go with my chicken potato soup. I have my drink mixes, Tang and Kool-Aid, and I have some V8 back there if you can see. Okay, then I go through and I look at this. This is all my freeze-dried. As you can tell, I have quite a bit of freeze-dried up here, and that for me is probably a year's supply up there. And I also have my own Mylar bag banana chips and blueberry, dried blueberry. Also, I have some of the vegetable blend for soup, right? I like to add a little bit of this to my spaghetti sauce, believe it or not. It's really good for you. And I also have the freeze-dried ice cream sandwiches, which I normally have one of those a month. So a case of the ice cream sandwiches will last me all through the winter. So this is something you need to think about when you're doing your inventory. Now you're also going to look at other things. Do I have enough shampoo, right? Do I have enough shampoo for the dog, for me? Do I have enough of the conditioner, right? Do I have enough of the Febreze, right? For the bed and the couch and the chairs and everything, because my dog does get on everything. Do I have enough vitamins to get me through the winter? Do I have enough soap, right? Do I have enough of just incidentals that I'm going to need, you know, like vitamin C, cough drops, matches, right? Vaseline, deodorant, Fixodent for my dentures, bandages, things of this nature. This is what I use every year. Bubble bath, that's a whole case of bubble bath right there. Okay. In the gray box, I have my camping gear. So if I lose power here with my solar generator that's on the bottom down there, and I've got one up there, right? I've got the solar generator right there that I take down and I recharge every month. And I've got 2 cookers that will plug into my solar generators, and I can cook that way. So there's another thing that you think about, right? Of course, you're going to also, this is the common things. Do you have enough medications to get you through the winter? Okay, I have got 6 months of my personal medications that I take. I've got 6 months ready to go if I need it. Right? 6 months if I need it. It's stored right there. It's in temperature controlled. I know my house is a mess. Get over it. Okay? I work anywhere from 10 to 14 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Pretty much the only time I have to clean and straighten things up is on Saturday and Sunday. And Saturday, as we know, is the Sabbath. So we're supposed to be concentrating on God and His Word on that day. As you can see, I've got a diamond painting that I'm doing. I have 5 on order. This gives me something to do when I can't get out of the house. And if the electricity goes out, I can still do my diamond paintings. And I have a way, if I really needed to turn the TV on. So when you do your inventory, you're going to inventory for things that you use. Not things that I use, but things that you use, right? So my dog gets a can of canned dog food once a week, right? So as you can see, I've got 7 weeks here. So I need to pick up 2 or 3 more cans of the canned dog food for him to last at least 2 months. This is what I try to keep on store for my animals. I don't try to go like some people say, go a year. I try to shoot for 2 months. If I have 2 months of supply on hand for my animals, normally that will get me through the worst of the winter, and then all I have to do is replace what I use during the winter. And the likelihood that all the stores are going to be closed and you're not going to be able to get chicken feed or dog food or things of this nature, it's pretty slim in my book. I don't particularly think that we're going to run out of all supplies. I just think they're going to get exceptionally expensive. So what this does for me when I do my inventory, as you can see, I've got all my bug spray and my pledge and everything is all stored here, ready to go. It's all there. I got my fertilizer for my citrus trees. It's all there. I know exactly where everything is. It looks like a cluster, but trust me, it's all there, right? Another thing I did is I went through and I inventoried my kerosene heater. I do have a C battery. If you don't have this little gadget, I would suggest that you go online and get it. It's called a Battery Daddy, and you fill it with your batteries, and it has like a little battery tester that comes with it so you can check your batteries. And as you can see, I use it all year long, and both sides you can fill with batteries, and it's easy to grab and go if you need to go. Really highly recommend that if you don't have it. This is what you do in the fall. My fall plants are already in the ground. They're already starting to pop up. That's my kale, my cabbage, and my lettuce. They're already popping up. By the end of September, before the first frost, I'll have good cabbage and kale and lettuce to pull and dehydrate and feed to the chickens, right? Most of what I grow goes to my chickens, okay? My chickens are spoiled. I'm not going to lie. They are absolutely spoiled. Another thing you want to look at for winter, do you have wool blankets? I have blankets all over the house. One of the reasons why I have blankets all over the house is I have a lot of windows. So my blankets in the wintertime, if it gets exceptionally cold out, I staple the blankets over top of my windows. And I'm going to show you that in my canning room. Oh, you thought I was done. I'm not done, darling. In my canning room, as you can see, it's full. My canning room, you can see I've already blocked out this is what I do. I just put the blanket over the window, and that keeps the heat or the cool in. Another thing I check is, do I have enough sugar? Yes, I have enough sugar. One of these jars will last me 2 weeks. I have enough sugar for the winter. I have enough beans for the winter, right? Okay. Do I have canning jars? Yes, I do. I got canning supplies. I'm good to go on canning supplies. So this is what I do. As I go through, this is all rice. As you can see, it's all white rice, not brown rice. You want to store white rice, not brown rice. If you want brown rice, you need to get yourself some maple syrup, and you just add that to your rice, and that will turn it brown, or brown sugar, whichever one you want to use. As you can see, I've got nuts here. And I've already been canning my chicken potato soup and my beef stew. Okay? So you want to go through and you want to inventory everything, your noodles, your dehydrated vegetables, your flour, right? You want to make sure that you have enough for what you typically use, right? Not what somebody else uses, but what you typically use. Everything that I have here, right, including my wet ones, everything that I have here is enough to get me through winter. If the power goes out, I have food on the shelf ready to go. I have alternative power sources. Water. This is a big one. Water bricks. Get yourself some of these. These are water bricks, and you can order them with a little spout. It makes it easier for you to get the water out. Keep water on hand. Now, the one thing I will say about water, if you store water, you want to make sure that every month you are draining that water out and replacing it, because water will go bad if it's not used. So always think of when did you store it, and how long will it last. The only difference to this is if you actually pressure can water, now you have sterilized water, and that water will last in that can for about a year to 2 years. So you do what you want to do. I just replace the water every month. So this is what you have to do. You have to do inventory. Part of your inventory also, you want to look at, before winter sets in, you want to look at, do you have the filters for your water filter? Because you're supposed to replace your water filter, depending on the brand, every 3 to 6 months. So this is a good time, right now, as fall comes in, replace your water filters, right? It's a good time to do it. Do you have it on hand to do it? If you don't, get them ordered, right? Just be aware, right? I'm also thinking of spring. This is my gardening supplies. These will go out to the shed sometime today. My gardening supplies, I keep them in the house. That way they're easy to find during the spring and the summer and the fall. And then once everything is planted and I'm cleaning up for winter, well, now I'm going to take my plastic and I'm going to cover my beds that I'm not going to be using in the winter. And what I do is I put a layer of hay, which I'm getting ready to go get. I put a layer of hay over my beds. Then I cover my beds either with my greenhouse toppers or with plastic, and I let them sit all winter. Okay. The reason I use hay, or if you don't want to use hay, because sometimes if you use hay, you're going to get grass growing up through the hay. You can also use pine shavings. Be aware that certain plants do not like pine. So whatever you're using for your mulch on your garden beds, you need to be thinking, what am I going to plant in that bed next year? And is it okay to use pine shavings, or should I go with something like leaves? In the fall, when the leaves fall out of the tree, I do pile all those up, and I do use that in my garlic bed. That all goes in my garlic and cucumber bed, and in the spring it gets tilled up into the ground once I pull the garlic. So my garlic's already planted, it's already going, good to go, right? Eggs. You see I got a lot of eggs on the table today. These will probably be dehydrated this weekend. If not, I might boil them all and start feeding them back to the chickens. This is an easy way for you to give protein to your chickens. If you don't use the eggs, or the eggs start getting old, like these are old eggs here. If the eggs start getting old, you just feed them back to the chickens. You know, you boil them and feed them back to the chickens. Now, when you do that, don't leave them as a full egg. You want to chop them up and mix them probably with some mealworms, which is what I do. I mix them with mealworms or black flies, right? Along with some chicken scratch and oyster shell, right? You need to just, when you do your inventory, that's what you want to look at. What do we eat in a week? And how do I get 2 months supply on the shelf? If you can't do 2 months supply, trust me, this took me years to slowly build up to. Right? If you can't do 2 months supply, get at least a week. Have a week ready to go. And you'd be surprised how much food 4 people in a household will eat in a week. Right? Now, it's just me and the dog and the chickens. And I got 1 fish. Right? So, for me, this is a little bit easier for me to build up. But this is what you want to look at. Right? You want to think outside the box. Try to shop sales. Try to, even if you have enough on the shelf, if you see a sale like I did with the Domino's sugar, well, I'll pick up a bag of that. You know, I'll just put it in storage. Right? Same thing with like your spaghetti sauces and your hamburger, right? You go to the Walmart, you go to the Farm Fresh, you go to the Kroger's, you go to Aldi, and they have hamburger on sale, right? And yes, I know their sale prices are still higher than what they were last year. You don't have to tell me, I know. But if you know that in a week's time you're going to use, let's say, 5 pounds of hamburger and 2 pounds of chicken, and they have hamburger on sale, well, you can pick up that hamburger, and if you don't want to can it, like what I do, you can put it in your freezer, right? And it'll stay like that as long as your freezer's below 20 degrees, right? It'll stay frozen, and it's good for a year to 2 years that way. I've even pulled hamburger out from 3 years ago and ate it and been perfectly fine. So it's easy to do, and a lot of people this time of the year start freaking out because, hello, this is a time of year that we have layoffs. And there's a lot of them going around right now in my area. Layoffs, people getting kicked out of their rentals because the owner can no longer afford the taxes on the place, so they sell the place to a big home corporation that's gonna take over the property and rent it for 3 times what they're paying. This has happened to my neighbor next door. She's been here for 20 years, and she just got eviction notice. Never been late on rent, always took good care of the place. The owner just decided they no longer wanted to be a rental owner and has sold all of their rental units in the neighborhood, and everybody is being kicked out. This is happening everywhere. Be aware of that, you know. It's unfortunate, but this is the state of the economy that we have right now. People being laid off left and right. Do you have enough money put to the side to cover your bills through the winter? Right? I say through the winter because that's what I do every year, because I'm in trucking, and as those who are in the trucking industry will tell you, this time of the year we slow down, and we'll slow down probably until about mid-October, and then we'll have a big flurry until just right before Thanksgiving, because everybody seems to like mid-October to Thanksgiving to pick up all the Christmas presents. And the stores like to put everything in for Christmas and Thanksgiving mid-October to November. So we have a big kick then, and then we'll slow down for 3 months. So we're already seeing, here it is, not even the end of August yet, it's close. We're a week away from the end of August. And as trucking goes, we're already seeing freight slow down. That's a state of the economy going on across the whole United States right now. And it's not only the United States that's feeling that, it's also going on overseas. So, yeah, you need to think now. You need to get your brain situated. Think if you were in Alaska and you had no way to go to the store, could you survive till spring? I know some of you are like in Florida, and I know some of you are here in the southeast, and some of you are like in Hawaii, where you really don't get a hard winter. But I'm telling you, this is what you need to be thinking of now. Just take it to the bank, right? You need to be thinking, can I put money to the side every week to get me through winter? Can I put food to the side every week to get me through winter? Do I have enough for my animals to get me through winter? Now, for me, that means 100 pounds of feed. Okay? That's an expensive bill. Right? 100 pounds of feed with 5 chickens will get me through about 3 months. So you need to think of these things, and you need to think of it in lieu of your family. Now is also a good time for you to order your spring seeds. A lot of people wait until November, December to order their spring seeds. These companies know that's what you're going to do, and they're going to raise their prices. Right now, you can get those seeds for half off. So now would be the time that you need to think about, what am I planning next year? Okay, this is what I need to get. And you need to get them now before winter sets in. This is just a trick I do every year, and I don't even think about it, I just do it. But I'm trying to teach you some of the tricks that I do. I've already ordered all my kerosene. I ordered all my kerosene in spring. The reason I ordered my kerosene in spring is it's spring. Who's going to order kerosene in spring? Right? So I already got my kerosene set up for all winter. I already got my propane from my little propane heater. It's already set up. Again, I bought that in spring. It's when it's cheaper. Right? My winter coats, you see, I've already pulled them out. Got them hanging up ready to go. Right? Again, I got a deal on the winter coats in spring. Coming into winter, right? After the first frost, go in and look at your summer clothes, because they'll be on sale. There's a little tips, right? There's little tips that you pick up as you go. In winter, best time to buy a lawnmower and a weed eater, because they're cheaper. Because nobody's cutting their lawn in the winter unless you're in the southeast, where we have to cut it all year round. So that's what I have for you today. Get out, do your inventory today. Don't always think about just your food and water and your supplies. Also think about things that you can do in your quiet times when you can't go outside and play or do your winter sports or things of this nature. Especially if you have kids in the house, you want to put things to the side to keep them busy, right? Because they're in school, but they're going to have a couple hours a day where they're just going to be idle? And would you rather have them doing something which increases their brain power or watching that? Your choice. You're the parent. It's your choice. So I'm going to let you go. I've kind of rambled on for 35 minutes here. And I hope I gave you some good tips. Bicycle.